All right. Recording is now live, Andre.
All right.
So, yes, ladies and gentlemen who sees this on YouTube and maybe even Facebook too, we'll see what happens. We're catching up with Andre Young. And this is not a podcast.
I know, right?
Usually we're hanging on a podcast, man.
Yeah.
And obviously this is the man of you evolving now and many other evolving nows. Have you expanded any more evolving nows? Or are we still,
goodness.
Where are we at these days? Let's go ahead and catch up on that.
Well, what we did was we consolidated everything, because when I first started the business, it was Men Evolving Now, and then we added a women's division, Women Evolving Now, and Young Men Evolving Now. So we consolidated. And the funny part is my daughter years ago sat back and said, you should call this You Evolving Now. And I was like, no, I don't like the name. I don't like the acronym. I was so adamant against it. And then a couple of years later, it just made sense putting everything together.
Sometimes the innocence of children, they've not been jaded by, like you and I, our passions for a brand and what we think we're supposed to go with. And so I love the innocence that ends.
Oh my God, it was so awesome. We still laugh about it now. And from the expansion part, it was really great, because when you first started your business, like, you're throwing a lot of stuff against the wall to see what sticks.
Oh God, yeah.
And what I learned is you have to marry your vision, but not the path that you think is going to get you there.
Right. Like, for example, did you plan on ever reaching back out to me and then saying, hey, Scott, let's, can we do it like today? For real quick, people watching this, so you understand what you're about to watch. I'm going to show him some of the behind the scenes and some of the tech that I'm using in my website for basically respecting my schedule and my fiance's schedule by me hard coding my schedule into my website. So then I get to decide when certain time slots are made available, whether it be coaching, whether it be like he and I today, whether it be a coaching call, a podcast call, or a paid client interview, whatever it may be. The power of scheduling and you managing your schedule is everything. And that's why I want to tie that back to you, Andre, what you're about to say, because it's like, you've learned this the hard way.
Oh yeah.
Because you got a family, man. Like, I just have a fiance and a coonhound, dog. You got like multiple kids. You got the wife. You got a lot going on.
And I do. And what I tell a lot of people, I want to remain as professional as possible. And one of the things that I do that I don't see a lot of people do is I use my phone as my calendar, as my secretary, my executive assistant. So when I have a meeting, I do my best not to end that meeting without scheduling what's our follow-up, where are we going, and we lock it in our schedule. And what I've learned is whatever you lock in your schedule, you will treat as gold and you will work around it. But it has to be in there first. And with everything that I have going on, and everybody's busy in their own way, so let's meet people where they are. So I need something that has my available time slots, that's easy and automated and for everything and everybody, including whoever I'm doing work with. No, to answer your first question, no, I never saw myself doing this when I first started. I wanted to be community driven. I wanted to reach the average person sitting on the couch that was willing to do something about their life and wanted more out of life. And what I learned was only 5% of the population is ready to get up and proactively do something, personal growth, relationship growth right now. And most people are like dentist driven. Their tooth hurts so bad you run to the dentist. So how do we become more proactive? How do we meet people where they are? And how do we help people evolve in their 4 Ps as people, partners, parents, and professionals?
There you go.
So we started to meet them at work. So I have different employee growth programming, from my Ru-Way mentoring, training their HR staff, an Evolve and Lead program focused on being a leader in and of your own life, not just a leader. Because I know a lot of leaders that go home and their life is a mess.
Right. And that's part of the point of this training today too, is that what I could potentially share how I do things, then you could take my knowledge, make it fit you first.
Right.
Then, because of these platforms that you're hinting at, then you can mirror this or restructure it for other users. And that's the real hack, is that you're helping other people also optimize their schedule who are working within your system and your protocols.
Absolutely. And it just makes it so seamless. Like, I've seen yours and how yours worked, and I said, wow, I love that. With the confirmation email back and forth to you and to the person, It just makes it seamless. It's in there. It popped up, like our meeting today popped up on my phone calendar, and it just immediately became something that I was going to do. So I loved it. I'm looking forward to today, and I know you guys listening are going to benefit a lot from it too.
Yeah, I think it's important to kind of at least, since we're on video anyway, I'm going to at least give you a couple spheres of influence with regard to the software. So pardon me stepping away from the mic, but this microphone is pretty powerful. You can still hear
me. Yeah, great. It's great.
So right now, where are you at? You're still doing manual, right? There's no scheduling on your site, anything?
There is. I have something on my site that allows people to send me an email.
Okay.
Is I get so many emails, I like to get out of that. So if somebody wants to reach out to me, social media, email-wise, that's great, but I don't want to depend on that for scheduling.
Okay. So hold on a second. Let's give you a little brand exposure here today.
All right.
All right. Screen 2. So I got multiple monitors here. Right, so you evolving now.
Yep.
All right. So where's this? Show me what you got going on with. If I got to see your current process. So right now, people are just going to be able to email you, right?
Correct.
So where's that call to action?
So the call to action, if somebody was on either one of these tabs to become a member, they can become a member. If the speaking engagements, if you go down to the speaking engagements in the blue over here.
Oh yeah, here.
Okay. So they hit that, and then there's some information about the speaking engagement. Scroll down, and it says to start. And you can send something to me.
All right, let's see here.
Yeah, so just scroll down there.
So basically, you've created your point of contact within each section of your site. So no matter where I go, I will find a way to connect with you, right?
Correct.
Okay, but so you don't have it right in the forefront.
And that's what I want. I want it on the main page, and I want it on all the pages that there's a button that they can hit to schedule a free 15-minute consult with me, and then all of the other virtual mentoring services that I provide from the Rue Way and 7 Ways to Love. The price is going to be there, but I believe that they should have a free 15-minute consult. I want to make sure that whatever they're signing up for fits what they need,
right?
Without them getting paid for it first.
So this is cool because actually, you are using it. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Does this just generate this form? Is this a part of an actual email marketing platform that ensures that you're getting people that are will this trigger me to get opted into your list, or is this just a direct email?
It's a direct email.
Okay. And then what is the back end of this system? What are you using?
Well, I have a web team, so I'm not going to be answering all of your questions.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, right. Actually, never mind. Here we go. You're using Constant Contact.
That I know.
It's a whole other training that I could tell you because I don't like them. But anyway, no offense. I mean, everybody starts with Constant Contact. I've moved all of my clients off of Constant Contact, and this is a quick little tip. That's the point of this training session. Is like I'm just going to share stuff. So as you grow this, it's okay. We don't have to do this today. As long as you have an email platform, awesome. But whether you're doing direct to you through Constant Contact or you're just helping people get on your email list, like for example, back on your main site, I know you obviously you're multi-author, but are you giving away anything on your site? Like any kind of guide or like?
I don't give away books or anything like that. What I do is I do give away two free contents on social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, things like that, where I do a quote and question of the week.
No. I'm referring what is here's my little tip.
Yep.
Marketing tip, ladies and gentlemen who are watching this video. You sum up your best nuggets of knowledge, for example, right? Like your best tips, whatever. Maybe it's a guide. Like when you go to my site, and this needs to be updated, I give away my Super 7's resource guide, but I wrote this like 3 years ago. This is just a PDF document that's been actually really well designed. It's got cool graphics and stuff on it. It's not, so some people literally just give away a PDF document. It's just a Word document they saved as a PDF and it has their bullet points on it. Whatever. In the end, it's knowledge. So a little marketing hint is that, listen, when people come to you, if they want to give a taste of you, but they're not ready to get involved in anything else yet, right? You got to start somewhere. To your point, you have that start button. So it's like, hey, let me at least see some of Andre's top nuggets and knowledge, right? Like, let me see what this guy's all about. What kind of amazing stuff is he giving away just to start building that relationship with me? Okay, this is part of this. This is part of email marketing 101 and building a relationship 101 in business. It's like, okay, great. He actually gave away something and he's not charging me for it. The only thing he asked me to do was click, hey, opt into my email list and I will send you this for free.
Right.
Right?
One of the
now they're on your email list, and Constant Contact is one of the platforms you can use to manage your opted-in email list. I personally recommend Aweber. I'm wearing their shirt actually today, the robot symbol. Aweber is one of the top platforms, and they're based just north of Philly here. They're not actually out in Silicon Valley, California. Like, they're right here in PA. So,
gotcha. One of the things that I did do for a giveaway is I keep the blog and the quote and question of the week on the main page. So if you scroll down right there, you'll see the quote and question of the week.
Yep.
And most of them end with, all of them end with, do you know your partner's answer? Do you know your kid's answer? Because that's a gift. Yeah. And then you have the blog underneath that there.
This is good.
So I wanted to be able to always have something, because not everybody's ready. And when I went through my hardest time, whether for the community, because we have employee packages that businesses and university athletics that do that. But for the regular person sitting on the couch, $5, a $24.99 package might be $1 million. So I always wanted somebody to have something. So in a sense, that is our giveaway.
Okay. Well, and that's fine. You can always have your blog stuff. I have two blogs on my site. I have a traditional blog, and then the podcast feed is actually a blog feed. Okay. Every podcast episode goes up there because that's to increase SEO recognition, right? More keyword recognition. It's giving more connectivity to every guest host like yourself who have been on the show, et cetera, et cetera. So, but again, that's different. You can keep doing that. But then the whole point here is this. Social media is constantly changing. And I know we're kind of going off topic, but I have to make sure we lock this in so you understand this. Right. And then we're going to get into the tools of the trade here. But this ties in because in my system that I'm going to outline for you, I have Aweber integrated into that. Because when you schedule with me, it gives the option, just an option, I don't require it, but it gives the option to opt into to stay in touch with Live the Fuel. So it's one of my check boxes in my form. Well, that form through Acuity Scheduling, which is one of my platforms we're going to go over, is linked to Aweber. So it's all tied together. But that's just for the scheduling process. But in the end, just general visitors who come to my site, they can go to the blog, they can go to the podcast, they can get all that stuff. But I'm giving them away a free guide. It's my top tips. It's 21. That's why I call it Super Sevens. There's 7 entrepreneurial tips like apps and stuff I recommend, books. There's health stuff. So it's like my whole brand is health, business, and lifestyle. So within that guide, there's 3 sections, 7 tips each, and then an additional 7 bonus tips. So it's really actually 28 tips. So long story short, I'm giving something away to grow my email list. Gotcha. Because Facebook keeps changing their algorithms. Instagram is a great way to grow your feed with the right hashtag clouds. And then Twitter's a pain in the butt, but everybody has to do that too, just to own the real estate. And then, yes, you and I talked about LinkedIn and everything else. But the beauty of your email list is that those are your loyal subscribers, whether you have 50 or whether you have 50,000. And you have the right to then email them whenever you want until they choose to opt out. All good email marketing platforms require an opt-in and an opt-out to ensure that you have the right to have them on your list. But the whole point is like, hey guys, all I'm asking for you to do is like, hey, I'm gonna give you this guide. You're on my list. And then next time I email you, I'll probably be sharing a new tip or a new event that we're running. So it's very light. You're not selling. Actually, I tell people when you manage your email marketing list, you should hit 7 times on knowledge before you ever even try and sell something. So your cycle is, hey man, maybe 6 days of the week, I'm just cycling stuff. Or maybe out of the whole month, I'm emailing the list twice a week times 4 weeks. That's 2 times 4, that's 8. So 7 of those is gonna be knowledge. And then the 8th one is, hey guys, if you ever wanted to score my book, a reminder, here's my list of my books. Like you just ease it in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Again, this is for a whole other training on just email marketing best practices. But I just want to share that with you because, you and I are cool like that. So,
well, thank you.
Anyway, now that I understand your site, I see what you're doing. Cool. Clearly, though, I like how you're trying to get people to flow through your different buttons. Mm-hmm. But as you know, let me get the screen share again here. There we go. All right. So you have your become a member, employee growth packages, 7 ways to love retreat, the yen speaking engagements. So you have the different sections, so people can go into that. But what if I already saw you at an event? To your point, right? So here's where we're probably going to want to then have your web guys create a button and just says, spend time with Andre, or or get with Andre, or work with Andre, whatever, right? Or talk with Andre, whatever you're going to want to figure out, because your audience. You're going to figure out that call to action, and then that button is like my button. I literally just have it as schedule. But when people click on schedule, that takes them to this customized page, which you could change. I constantly tweak this thing, man. Like, I decided to go with green the past few months to see if I like it more. For each category that they could schedule with, you can install different. You can put logos in here. I just decided to use photos of me because I'm the brand. But because you have, go back to you here, because
we have the Rue Way, we have the 7 Ways to Love mentoring, because I really want to focus on the virtual mentoring. So the free consult, the Rue Way, and 7 Ways to Love.
The beauty is you still be able to go in once you're done integrating all this tech. You'll be able to go back into each of these buttons, and at the bottom, change that button to direct them to your scheduling page, to that specific section. So let's say 7 Ways to Love Retreat is going to be, let's say that's the same thing as this one, right? And then instead of this, you have a photo of, does your 7 Ways to Love Retreat have its own logo or kind of branding piece?
Yep.
Boom. There you go. So here's where this is just best practice for your site. Like, as you build this, you want to tie everything to get together visually and not just textually. That way, it doesn't matter where they bounce back and forth in the site. It's like, oh, well, I was just on the 7 Ways to Love, and here's the 7 Ways to Love scheduling link, right? So you'll be able to fix that. That's easy. You've already got the buttons. The other thing I would recommend, though, is when you were when we went into, let me go in here actually, are all of your call to action buttons at the bottom of the page?
I believe so. We need them at the top.
You want to do top and bottom.
Okay.
Because, to your point, there's some people who you haven't built the relationship enough yet. So maybe they want to scroll through the 7 Ways to Love Retreat, read about on it, just like you have it now. And okay, so we don't have a button down here yet, right? So we will. But in your speaking page, you do.
Yep.
So this is awesome, because then you're gonna be able to integrate, buttons at the top, buttons at the bottom, or you just have a call to action saying, "Hey guys, go click on our scheduling link in the main menu." You're gonna have to figure that one out for yourself. You know your audience.
Yeah.
You know how to call them to action, I hope, right?
Yep.
So anyway, that's enough for that. So obviously I have, for example, the cool thing is, and I want to get in on this before you understand the functionality, before we get into the actual functionality. So the reason why I have 15-minute interval versus an hour is some people were trying to, I guess, get time with me by just jumping right into this option. When I first launched my scheduling system, I didn't have an intro for approval.
Right.
Well, I'm like, so some dude registered time with me for an hour from India to come on my show. And I'm like, I don't even know who you are. Like, no, you cannot just, and I already had the word pre-approved on here. So he still didn't get that. I'm like, you have to be pre-approved to get access to me and my show. So we're creating that virtual gatekeeper,
right?
But in a professional way, right?
Yeah.
It's like, listen, you need to respect Andre's time. So let's screen you or clear you, because here's the other thing. Andre wants to respect your time. Maybe you don't fit what Andre's ready to help you with. Maybe you're not at that point in the timeline.
Right. And we have dream leaders. So I would be happy to refer, but I need that 15 minutes. Like you said, I need these 15 minutes because you evolving now can help, but whatever you share with me, maybe there's something else that can help more, or what I give is not going to benefit you. So let's go here first, and if you ever want to come back. So you're absolutely right. I need that 15 minutes. They need that 15 minutes to respect their time and money. I don't just take somebody's money and know I'm not going to be able to give them what they need.
Yeah. And then here's the fun part, right? So again, when I first launched this, I had no billable options on here. Mm-hmm. But so then I started creating these kind of, it's almost like I'm testing to see who has where's everybody's confidence level and how they want to work with me. So like this whole introduction to Connect and Network, I'm probably going to change this one. This one is barely used. Most people They're actually going right to grow your brand. I have my current client now. They started here because I told them they Instagram messaged me. I'm like, dude, just go to livethefuel.com/schedule. It's right here, right? You can customize that within your site with your web people. Maybe you want to call it something else. But I said, hey, just go to grow your brand and let's talk. 15 minutes isn't enough. I am willing to invest 30 minutes into you as a possible future client, or to see if I can even help you. Maybe you're not a right fit for me, because that's another business 101 lesson is stop trying to win everybody as your clients.
Yes.
Some people aren't meant to work with you.
Absolutely. Exclusivity is very important, because it's not. And in that 15 minutes, I always short, what do you want to get from this?
Right.
And then it allows me to maybe customize what I've done, because I have a system that works.
Yeah.
But now I know. So
I love that, because you get that already. So we just have to give you these tools to create that screening. But really, that's what I'm hinting at here is it's really a flow, right? So you've heard of sales funnels.
Yes.
Well, in this case, I'm not trying to. I mean, it's kind of a sales funnel, but you're establishing some screening and some filtering before they even enter your sales funnel, right? It's like we need to qualify you guys. Let's qualify. In the marketing world and sales world, we call it, you got to qualify your leads, right? You got to qualify these people to see if they're even going to be able to do business with it, or else move on. Or I can, after this call, I can then say, you know what? I just don't see the fit, but I got people in my network. I can refer you. Let me refer you to so-and-so or so-and-so. I think they'll do a better job for where you're at, right? So now you're still honoring that person on that call, and you're still actually showing that you're a resource, because people underestimate the power. And I don't want to use the word networking anymore. That's why I'm probably going to change this one too, is networking has gotten overused.
Yes.
Everything that you're doing, everything that I'm doing, we are influencers, but we're also connectors. We want to connect people in a nice way, or in this case, we're going to be doing scheduling software so they can start taking action. Because here's the thing. How many times have you taken the time to go on your iPhone, you book them on your calendar, and then they bail?
Yeah,
right?
It happens, yep.
Okay. So that's another reason why I won't waste any more than 30 minutes. If you're serious, now I'm going to move you on to launch your brand. And actually, I'm going to be adding a new feature on here that's going to be called Control Your Brand. Because I have some people that have already launched.
Yep.
Again, my tagline for my business is control how your brand exists online. Well, it's a little bit different. That's going to be much more dialed in. That's a higher level premium service, because we're getting into a lot of different hacks that are way after you get around to launching your brand. Launching your brand, we're still talking about filling out creative briefs and figure out your colors and your logo ideas and everything else. So can you extrapolate this back to what you're trying to build for your flow?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
And again, here, I have an option for you, right? Intro your event for Scott to speak. I want to redo this wording. I just added this one not too long ago, but because I've been increasing my public speaking like you are. Yep. And I want to redo this, but like, hey, you know what? I'll give you 15 minutes to try and see if I want to even speak at your event. I'm not trying to be pompous, but it's like, if my voice is not going to benefit your audience, I don't want you to pay me.
Well, because it winds up ruining your reputation.
Right. And
our reputation is more important than anything else.
I'm not going to go and talk at a GNC event because I don't support them. They're a multi-billion-dollar nutrition company, but they don't care what goes into their nutrition. So I have a hard stance against that. They could probably pay me a lot of money. I just will never buy anything in their stores ever again because I now know too much. whole different discussion. All right. So good. We got that. So the issue we want to try and create here for you is you got your site. We're going to want to create for you a direct scheduling option right away.
Right.
Like YouTube event. Let's not channel you through my different, portals to read up. If you're ready to schedule, let's get you into the schedule right away. Maybe it takes you to the scheduling page and then they still see all of the options.
Right.
So, and then we still have to, you're still going to have to then break out your different packages, right? Or the different services, right? So whether it be, we got employee, we got 7 ways. And we got
virtual mentoring.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. See, this is huge for virtual mentoring. So we got virtual
and speaking engagements.
Well, what about yen? Oh, that is speaking engagements. Okay.
Yep.
So right there, you've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah. You got 4 different access points, but in reality, you want to create a 5th, right? That's going to be direct. We're going right in. So these all could then obviously, actually, let me do this. So we're going to flow into your scheduler. That's the biggest thing that we're adding to your equation here. Now, this is where Acuity comes in. That's what I recommend. That's what I use is Acuity Scheduling. Now, there's other schedules out there. There's Calendly and other ones out there. Now, the funny thing is, I recommend using Google for behind the scenes for all, even though my email is at livethefuel.com, it's actually a Gmail platform. You could do custom domain branding. I don't know what you're using for your core email platform.
For my core is I like Gmail. I mean, it's one of the things that I'm on. I do have a business email, but I'm on my Gmail so much more, and I like that.
Okay. Well, I mean, from a professional brand perspective, especially when it's on a business card, stuff like that, people like this, like you have, last time I checked, you had men and women at youevolvingnow.com.
And to be honest with you, yes, I do have that. I want to change it. I think it's too long. I want to change it to you evolving now at whatever, or something simpler. Yeah, something.
You could say take action at you evolving now. I mean, right? You can custom domain anything, and you don't have to delete that account. You just go in and change the alias. That's what it's called.
So I wouldn't have to delete the men and women at you evolving.
Nope.
Okay. Well, that's
Kristen, my fiance. She's got allpointsequine.com for her horse doctor business. They were all using the basic webmail that comes with your web hosting, which is full of spam. So I migrated and redirected. You have to do this with your host and everything, but we redirected all the email traffic to Gmail accounts. And then because she owns her domain, allpointsequine.com, we pay for the Gmail gives you the ability to custom domain like you've done. So is youevolvingnow.com a Gmail account?
No, it's not.
So you can make that. So you can migrate that into a Gmail platform just like you're used to and what you love, right? So then I created custom aliases. So I have Dr. Kristen at Dr. Tara at, and then they have the regular info at, and then they have their office manager Sue at, and then the other doctor. So all of those are Gmail accounts. And the beauty of using Gmail is, and within a business account like that, is now I was able to give them shared calendars.
Yes, because I'm using something else. I really don't want to say the name of the place, but I don't like that email setup. It struggles to put pictures in, and
you just admitted you love Gmail.
I do,
right? So
I do.
The only thing you got to do now is just take your You Evolving Now. Now, granted, I think I pay $5 a month for custom Gmail domain because I have. And I'm actually going to be adding another one to my account because I have so much people. There's now these PR agencies that have set themselves up just to promote podcasting. And they're now sending me people like, hey, you should check out so-and-so for your podcast, which is great. But it's muddying my main email, which is scott@livethefuel.com, which is a Gmail-based platform. So I'm just going to launch another alias and create podcast at livethefuel.com. And then I'm going to reach out to all of those agencies and say, guys, going forward, do not email me here. Now email me here. So now I'm funneling my traffic and I'm cleaning up my email world a little bit. So to me, it's worth it to pay another $4.95 or whatever it is for that other custom domain email account, which I could also, and then if I wanted to, I could literally create multiple calendars if I wanted to, but I don't care. Because eventually I'll probably hire a VA and have a VA manage that. Mm-hmm. And then the VA will be able to monitor my schedule, and there's bigger stuff in the works there.
There you go. So what you're saying is I can pay $5 a month. I can keep the men and women at youevolvingnow.com, but I can change the alias to Andre at youevolvingnow.com.
Yeah.
And okay.
Or speaking at youevolvingnow.com or 7 ways at, or you can make it anything you want.
Okay.
That's the beauty of it. The difference is right now, it should be your domain.
Where would I go to start that?
Who do you host with? Who's your website with? Is it with like GoDaddy or HostGator or Bluehost or?
Well, that I don't really, on the website.
Or was this all done by your web company that you're out? You're
all by my web.
So you're probably on their hosting platform.
Okay.
That's a whole different discussion.
Okay.
So I don't recommend that. I recommend every business owner own their hosting. People are like, oh yeah, but my web guy's throwing in the hosting. That's great. But unless you're an admin on your site, like now you're kind of like held hostage.
Well, I am an admin on my site. I could do everything on my site.
However, you're in their world, not your world.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So like that's the other thing. Like I put All Points Equine. She already had an account with GoDaddy. And I said, well, I can launch you with HostGator, which I recommend too. And she's like, I want it simple and easy. I'm like, fine. We'll just host it on GoDaddy because that's where her domain is registered at. So when she bought All Points Equine years ago, she registered her domain through GoDaddy. Mm-hmm. And that's what I use for all of my domains. I own like 30 different domain names. So not just Live the Fuel. So they're all on GoDaddy. That way it's just easy for me. Like, hey, you're ready for your 2-year renewal, for owning, livethefuel.com or whatever, or 5-year renewal, however long you renewed your domain name for to own the rights to it.
Gotcha.
So there's domain registration and then there's hosting. So domain registration just means, hey, I own youevolvingnow.com. But then it's got to be hosted somewhere. So that's where your web people come in. You're probably using whatever their hosting provider is. So with redirecting that email account and creating it in the Gmail world, you will have to work with them because number one, they have your host. But number two, do you know where your domain name is registered at?
You know what? No, I don't.
So did they register that for you too?
Yeah, we all sat down in a meeting a while back and did that. And it's just, there's a detail that I do not know.
Okay. And that's something else I recommend you take back over control 100% on. Because here's the thing, they may literally own your domain name. And that's bad. Because you're the business owner. So that's one thing. That's fine. You want to hand off hosting, that's one thing. But you should always own your domain name. That should be in your account because God forbid they turn into whack jobs or something, right? And you have to start all over again with another site. Great. You own youevolvingnow.com in your registration account. So you just point it at a different hosting account and launch a whole new site.
Definitely.
But if they own the registration too, you have to contact them to redirect it.
All right. Well, that's great advice. I meet with them on Monday. So that would definitely be, I'll put a star by that question right there.
Yeah. But anyway, let's say, long story short, let's say you already have this, it's in GoDaddy. I just log into GoDaddy, and GoDaddy is now set up a direct partnership with Gmail now too, with Google. So I used to actually go into Google directly, which mine is this way. And I actually pay Google directly every month for Gmail and really what you're paying for is actually Google's small business Gmail suite. It's not just Gmail. You're paying for they've rebranded it as G Suite. Mm-hmm. So you don't just get custom domained email. You get the entire G Suite. So you have Google Drive, Google Doc sharing, Google Calendar, everything you need to run a business. So as you grow employees or VAs, you could literally just launch new email accounts under, like you could have Johnny at youevolvingnow.com and boom, because he's in your G Suite, you're paying the $5 for his email account, but you have all of the features.
Yeah.
All the additional services.
Yeah.
Right? So you're getting much more than custom domain email.
That would have been very helpful.
Yeah. It's okay. So it's what I do. So anyway, so that's cool. Let's get back to the point then. So Acuity is really just your scheduling portal. You have, and they actually have an app. You can download the app onto your iPhone. Like I can go right into my Acuity scheduling system, which I never really do, but I can log in and just, if you didn't have Google and stuff like that, I can look at my schedule right through the Acuity app. So just want to make sure you know that.
Yeah. And just to make sure I'm spelling this correctly, Acuity, how are you spelling it?
Oh, it's Acuity. So, and real quick, for the point of this training, and I'm an affiliate of all these guys because I recommend them on my clients. So all I ask people is like, hey, dude, click through my link when you go to sign up for these, because that way I get like a few cents.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because that's affiliate marketing. So yeah, on the website, when you go to supported brands here, like this is everything we're going to be talking about today. So I've set up affiliate accounts with, because I'm only going to affiliate with people I trust and that I actually use. So anyway, right there's Acuity. Are you seeing that?
Yep.
All right. So here's Trello. That's my project management platform. Oh man, you should see that. That would blow your freaking mind. Zoom is what we're using today, right?
Yep.
Our audio video conferencing. Aweber's my email platform, right? And well, obviously I recommend audiobooks. My site though is actually hosted on podcast websites because I have such an advanced podcasting system. I'm using their platform. But it's technically a WordPress backend, which yours is probably too. And obviously, I do recommend HostGator. I still use them from time to time on small projects because they're just easy. And this is my buddy's IT company that is like off the charts ridiculous. So, and actually, this guy's my editor for my podcast. But so, yeah, I have like health stuff, but I have business stuff. So anyway, that's where all the links are for what we're talking about today.
Okay.
And these guys, Acuity will help you. They'll walk you through the setup, dude. So they have 24/7 scheduling. You can get an online assistant virtually to walk you through. So don't think like after today, like you're all alone. Because you may want to do stuff differently than what I did. So that's why like I can only show you so much. And then you want to sit down and really figure out, map out what you want.
Right.
But I'm going to dig you into all that. So anyway, so Acuity is a scheduling platform. But then the biggest thing I want to help you understand is there's a few other tools that I have linked in that maybe you don't want yet, but get this up here. So we just talked about Gmail, right? So this is directly linked to, my Gmail calendar, right? So that's a big deal because I want everything tied together. That way, if somebody goes to book, it's sending me an email right to my inbox, and it's tentatively putting it on my calendar. Yeah. Until I hit approve. So that's awesome, right? But then within this relationship, I also have, I got Zoom, right? Today we're using Zoom. It sends you a Zoom link automatically for the audio video call. That's huge. So that's all involved here as well. And then we talked about pay services. I added in my PayPal integration. That's huge for you. So what did we talk about before this call today? Why do we want to integrate PayPal into your calendar?
Well, it is a business and we need to get paid.
Well, most importantly, I've reached a point where I'm like, I keep giving away my time and giving away my time and giving away my time. It's like, eventually you just have to put a stepping stone in there and say, guys, if you want to get access to me for real, you got to pay to play. Like exactly. My time is money. And if people don't have skin in the game, they don't respect the time that's being invested. So another reason why I've launched, paid for stuff on my calendar, because I'm like, guys, if you want to grow your brand, you got to pay. Like I should be charging you way more than $100 an hour. Let's be real. I mean, there's agencies out there charging thousands of dollars to help people grow their brands. But I was like, if you want an hour of my time, I'm gonna over deliver in that hour. Like people leave with bullet points full of stuff. So, but obviously, I'm not gonna launch all those bullet points for you because that's value added services.
Sure.
Now that being said,
what's the PayPal? Yep.
So PayPal. Zoom. Yep. And then the other piece here is, which is actually tied in, is also obviously Aweber. So it's not a requirement, but I give that option when people are booking. They could check a box saying, yes, I want to stay in touch with Live the Fuel and get on my email list. So I don't require it, but as I hinted earlier in the training, you want to get people on your email list whenever possible in the right way. So at least give them the option, right? Give them the option. And now they're on your list because now you have an excuse to stay in touch with them. But if they don't get on your list, you have no way to stay in touch with them. And outside of all the social media crap, your email list is the easiest way to stay in touch with people and build and foster those relationships.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how does that sound?
I love it.
All right. So let's get into some screen sharing here. Boom. Let's show you. Let's lift the curtain. I'm going to close this tab out. All right. So let's dive right into Acuity. I think this is your biggest missing link. Everything else is extra, but I'm already logged into my Acuity account. Okay. But I wanted to scroll down here and show you. I've been on there a while, so I've been on the emerging entrepreneur plan for a while. It's only $10 a month. So I don't know what they're doing now. They might. This is grandfather. This is grandfather. So there must be new plans now. I did start free. I did start free.
It's $10 a month to have
all of that scheduling functionality.
No, that's grandfathered in, so they changed the price then.
Well, probably. It looks like all these are, but hold on a second. So let's go ahead. Let's see what they're doing these days. Like I said, I've been on a while. Actually, when I talked to the owner, he gave me like 6 months for free. So,
oh, really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. I was playing with it for 6 months before I started paying.
Excuse me 1 second, Scott.
Yeah.
I got to turn the breaker off in here, and I'm not sure it's going to affect you. So
no, it should. It should not. Nope. All right. Thank you.
Here you go. Here's the new pricing. Looks, they only went up $5.
Yeah, that's okay.
But here's the thing. They have a free option, man. Like, you can ease into it like I did.
I'm having some work done here at the house. I told you we're in the cigar room.
Yeah.
we're putting in blessed enough to be putting in a sauna, but had to turn the power off. So,
all right, was your laptop had power or your iPad and everything?
Nope, but the lights went off, so you can't see me. So.
Oh, I don't care. We're screen sharing anyway. I'm
keep talking.
Your screen is probably now acting like a flashlight. So, anyway, so you can see what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So here, the reason why I've never gone above emerging platforms is I don't have any official like separate locations and staff I have to worry about. I'm just focusing on one master calendar.
Yeah.
So, okay, for $15 a month, I think it's important to understand some of the additional features, right? So, even I'm just going to go down here. So, there's advanced features. The reason why I went from the free to the paid is for a couple of things. One, I wanted to be able to embed the scheduler into my website. If you do the free one, you don't even have to worry about working on your website, my friend. You can just have a link, and it takes them away from your site into the scheduling system on Acuity. So what you liked when you saw all the different options embedded in my web page, right, that's because I'm on a paid version of the plan. So if you really want that, then go at least get the emerging entrepreneur plan. Because
yeah, I like that one.
Right. So if you didn't, Acuity gives you a URL, and you just give it to your web people and say, this is the URL that we're going to stick into all the buttons, and you're done. And maybe you want to do that on like a phase 1 launch, is just to get the functionality. Maybe you get the free plan, you get the little URL, you launch the calendar features within Acuity, and you build them all out within the Acuity's site. And then Acuity gives you your own landing page with all those options. And then you just have a click through. But again, they're going to leave your site to go to Acuity. The reason why I like to keep people on the site as much as possible, that's a online 101. So for me, I'm like, right there, that was worth it, me paying the 10, which is now $15. But that's just one added benefit. Okay. Having automatic emails, reminders for no-shows and stuff like that, that's another added benefit. I'm not even using this. I don't use Outlook, so I don't care about syncing it, but they'll sync. They'll sync with iCloud, right? If you're doing file storage and stuff like that. Here you go. This was my big win. I wanted to sync this with my Google Calendar. So again, if you don't want to sync it with your Google Calendar because you're still transitioning that, and you don't care if it's actually embedded in your site, you can just send everybody right to the Acuity site. Acuity has an app. It'll be one more app you have to go into, but you'll be able to monitor your whole schedule through the app. So there is some wins for going free if you don't mind doing it on Acuity's site. So just think about that stuff. I want to make sure you understand. And then obviously integrating in things like, hey, if I'm using in this case, I use Zoom. Yeah. So for me, I'm like, as soon as I saw all these integration options, I geeked out. I was like, oh yeah, man. Because I mean, honestly, half of what I've just listed already, I've done. I have integration into the site. I have integration with Google Calendar.
Yeah.
I have integration with Zoom.
Yeah.
Over here, are you using any of these? Are you a QuickBooks guy?
No.
You could be. Think about that, man.
Well, you never know. So
right? So like here we go. Email, right? My email list. I'm integrated with Aweber. None of us are using CRMs, but you could. There's lots of other apps for automating things. Here you go. PayPal, Square, Stripe. You can integrate with all of these.
And that's all under the $15 package.
Any paid plan right here. All paid plans give you all of these advanced features. Wow. So as soon as you move from $0 to $15,
and
you get access to all of this.
This is the one that I need. This is the one that makes the most.
Like, check this out.
Yep.
Look at that, dude. I've not taken advantage of that. What? You're giving me secured PCI compliant vault for credit card transactions. So if I've got a recurring client, I could set up recurring billing.
I love that because what I do is because my Rue is 4 weeks. My 7 Ways to Love is 5 weeks. What I've had was people, and what I didn't anticipate is people saying, well, one, I want to do this again. And then they said, well, I like a monthly check-in. So to have a recurring payment of a monthly check-in when you're checking in with someone, it maintains that relationship, but now that makes it so much easier. The other part that I really love is the no-show reminder because, like you mentioned, our time is everything. Time is everything.
Well, now think about this. Tie the no-show reminder to what I have highlighted right now, the Vault credit card.
Right.
Listen, you've already agreed in our contract and my calendar contract, basically, that we're going to meet once a month, let's say, for example. It's up to you if you're going to show up or not, bro. You're being charged no matter what.
It's still
that's
being
our
charged.
Agreement.
It's still being charged.
You've secured.
I'll make up a no-show because life happens. Things happen.
And that's your right as the business owner, right?
But you're still going to get charged for it. I'll make up, and we could do session 2 if you miss that over. But after 2 no-shows, there's no makeups. We're on to session 3.
This is the biggest tech that I've been trying to get my fiance to use because, and I'll give you an example. This is why we're doing this training call. I want to help you really feel it out because she's also a doctor of chiropractic for animals. So over here near Dorney Park Amusement Park, there's a high-end dog food store called Dining Dog. And so every other Monday, they book time with their customers to have Kristen come in and work on their dogs. So it's a paid service and Kristen gets paid for it. But Kristen lets them do all the scheduling. So when you get a no-show, there's no money.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. I'm like, baby, I was like, you spent so many years getting educated.
Yep.
I don't even want to get into how much college cost.
Yep.
She went to Cornell and UPenn.
Oof.
Woo! I was a state school guy. I went to Penn State, bro. So I was like, yeah, okay. And I still got 50 grand I'm wiping out. So I was like, baby, I was like, your time needs to be respected.
Yep.
I was like, so every Sunday she has to call the store, or every other Sunday, she calls the store to say, hey, what's the schedule look like tomorrow?
Yep.
I'm like, I could turnkey this.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now?
Yep.
I could have you paid up front. You could just go into the app. I don't even have to integrate this into your site because obviously All Points Equine is targeted towards horses. So I was like, fine, let me build a small little landing page within Acuity and make the store use our system, right? All I got to do is make them go. I'll launch a separate, I'll call it All Points Canine or whatever. I don't care, right? I'll launch I can launch a whole separate web domain. And the only thing that web domain does is go to this calendar. It doesn't even have a website. It just takes you to Kristen's calendar.
Yeah.
Like, do you see the potential in this stuff?
I love it. Work smarter, not harder.
Thank you. So that's why I was looking forward to talking to you today because I wanted to not just show you some of my hacks, but like give you the vision and the potential. And even I haven't taken advantage of all this stuff yet. Like I don't have this vault. I love this vault. If you've got a recurring customer that they bought your VIP coaching package for the next 6 months, you're meeting with them twice a month. That should be paid up front because as soon as they secure that time slot,
well,
you can't work with anybody else.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, yeah. And then it's up to you if you want to build them all of it up front, or here, in this case, you can have a secured vault, put them into some type of automated payment factor. I haven't done this yet, so I don't specifically know how to do that, but I'm sure Acuity's tech support can help us out with that.
Well, and I do like to offer classes down below, to offer classes and workshops.
There you go. Yeah.
I never stopped doing the community part. Is where I make the least of my money. However, I wanted to always have a feature where people in the community had somewhere to go when they're looking for more.
There you
So
go.
we just,
well, and there's stuff like this. Check this out. I like the add-ons. Like, imagine if this was like, here we go. Imagine Kristen going to do a Chiro session.
mm-hmm.
But one of the other doctors on her staff is also trained and certified in acupuncture and massage therapy. So what if I'm at Dining Dog and I go onto an iPad sitting there at the counter to book time with Dr. Kristen for my Chiro, and all of a sudden there's a couple of checks box like, oh, would you like to add acupuncture and or massage therapy? Now obviously that would end up bringing in Dr. Gina, but I can automate all this, and all of a sudden Dr. Gina comes with Dr. Kristen every other Monday. Now Dr. Gina's making side cash too. Right?
Gotcha.
What if you got somebody specialized on your team that you're trying to grow a little brand for them because they have a special niche, a special counseling background? I don't know, right?
Well, I have 4 dream leaders.
Yeah, your dream leaders.
It would be awesome because, I mean, when it makes sense. It makes sense.
What if you got in your calendar, once you build this out, check out our dream leaders as a link.
Mm-hmm.
And then within there, you have a bio for each dream leader. And then it just says, schedule with who, right?
Yep.
Because
now, how would that be integrated to their schedule?
Well, at this point in time, at this level, you're just doing, right?
Right.
You would be flowing all that. So you would just have to incorporate that in and invite them. Because, but obviously, the way right here, like this would actually, you'd have to probably advance up to, hold on, this is grandfathered. Where's the new one? There we go. So the 6 calendars, that'd be like $25 a month, right?
Right.
If you wanted to be able to sync and manage multiple calendars or multiple divisions of an organization, which right now, who cares? Like, you run everything. It's your brand. So if people book that stuff, it's going to generate into your calendar. So why don't you just invite their email to that time slot, right? There's a lot of things you can go off of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, for Kristen, all of the doctors' schedules are managed by their office manager. So I could just run one master calendar on this system with the info at All Points Equine account, the main account. And then Sue sees every single time someone tries to book a time for I mean, I really want them to use this for their main business, but don't get me going. I can only share so much knowledge. But my point is, like, okay, Sue is you. Everything is flowing into Sue, and then Sue delegates out because they all have shared Gmail calendars. So again, through the growing, hold on, what is their free one here, or the first paid one called? They're calling it now Emerging. So we get them the Emerging account. Sue manages the whole thing. She sees every single email. Everything dumps into the main All Points Equine, or in your case, You Evolving Now calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Then, because they have other email accounts already paid for through Google, she just invites the other doctor with their email address to that calendar slot.
Okay.
And you're done. You don't need this 6 calendars thing, staff locations feature. I think that's my hypothetical. That's what I've done all of my research, and that's what I would do. I would just invite somebody else, just like you got invited to this session.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just add another email account to the invite. Like, okay, Dr. Kristen gets, so it's Sue accepts every calendar session as info at All Points Equine. And then she just invites whatever doctor is supposed to do that. And then it shows up on their Google Calendar. But everything is on the main info at All Points Equine Google Calendar. So in your case, you could have Andre at youevolvingnow.com. And then maybe you end up setting up, because you want to control your brand. You want to control who is representing your brand. So maybe you decide to have a $20 a month Google investment. So everybody on your team is invested into, using the same calendars. You can monitor that. You can share that. You can go look at their calendar, see what they're doing. I don't know. That's up to you. This is what you want to think about for your growth cycle with your business.
I like it.
Right? Does it seem doable?
It does.
Cool. All right. So we've gone over billing, we've gone over features, yada, yada, yada. Is there anything else here I want to point out? Yeah, reporting is cool. Like you can go back and run a report on the past year and just like get a snapshot of all the different types of calendar sessions we're invited. And then you can say, okay, well, this one invite was hardly ever used. So maybe I want to restructure that invite or restructure that plan or that service, or maybe get rid of it. You know, maybe that's the low-hanging fruit that I chop off and I just focus on the other calendar invites that are getting the most traffic. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yep.
So it's cool to be able to run reports on this stuff. But to your point, being able to also offer workshops, I think that's huge for you and what you're doing. I even like this. I mean, maybe it doesn't fit you, but like if you're a massage therapist using this platform, they've already paid for the massage session.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to tip you. Well, that's cool. So, I mean, I don't know if you get tips, but
I don't know, but I'll take them.
Exactly. That's what I like to hear. All right. So let me get into some of the behind the scenes on Acuity. Again, dude, they helped me with all this stuff. So it's not like I did this all alone. But so once you have an account, then you can start building out, like here, I'm going to go into my business settings. So here, this is the biggest thing right here, your availability. Yeah. Before you book any services, any features, you need to sit down and say, you know what? What are my, in this case, what are my regular weekly hours? Like, do you want to run a regular brick and mortar style availability? I don't know.
No.
I like it, right? This is your chance to finally control your time availability. So you see this, because my one client, that's where most of my travel is for that one client. I'm constantly doing business development, sales growth for that client and her clients. So my travel for them is always Tuesday through Thursday. So do I want anybody booking podcasts with me during those days?
Absolutely. Right.
No. And normally, because they're a 9 to 5 style business or an 8 to 4 style business, I try and just make sure that no one's really bothering me earlier in the day. So, and a lot of my clients are on the West Coast as well. So that's a different time zone.
Right.
So I'm like, wait a minute. So I don't mind working in the evenings because I'm an entrepreneur and I have to get it done.
Yeah.
So, but I'm only opening up, as you can see here, a few options.
Right.
Right. So this is where you start having fun with this stuff, because then you can set up other, here's a quick overview. Like I've got all different types of availability set up in here. I even block off days. I make sure that there's no chance you can even book any, like, let's say Wednesday, like I turn Wednesday into my life balance day.
Yes. You need
nobody, not any service, not any option on my website can somebody book on a Wednesday.
Right.
And that was a big move. I just did that about a month ago just to show my fiance, like, hey, baby, I was like, you know, I've been hustling too much. I'm writing the new book. I don't know if I told you that. I'm finally writing a book.
No, congratulations.
Yeah, well, you're one of my inspiring factors. So anyway, that's a whole different story. But the point is, I'm finally writing a book. I'm still writing and growing the podcast. I just gained 2 new clients. It's like on the West Coast. So it's like, holy crap, I got a lot going on.
Right.
But that doesn't justify me. She normally tries to take Wednesdays off from the business because she's like, right now she's on an emergency call on a weekend. So it's like, all right.
You got to keep your triangle right.
What's that?
You got to keep your triangle right.
There you go. So it's like, okay, this is everything that you coach people on too, right? Life balance. It's like, all right, I'm going to try and make Wednesdays for her. Now, granted, I'm traveling still during the day for my main client here on the East Coast, but I want to make sure nobody can book any time on the evenings. And when she and I get to catch up, go have date night, go to dinner, I don't know, whatever. Just go out for a drink, go do happy hours. I don't care. The point is, that is hard coded. I can go right into my app and show her, there you go, baby. That's your time.
There you go.
So I'm trying to figure out this whole romance thing. You're more of a guru than I am. So you see my little, how you can actually, like right there, you could block off time for specific days. So these are all value-added benefits. Now, you see this over here, group 1 and group 2.
Okay.
This probably looks a little overwhelming right now, but the point is that you can run multiple calendar brackets like this. Like this is just one. So this is setting for group 1. Like if I click on setting hours for group 2, so now we're on group 2. So here you go, group 2 regular hours. My hours changed.
Okay. So you could do like a rotating week, like because for me it's like 1 week looks one way, another week looks another way, and I like to rotate that.
Well, this is actually, if you look at this is my regular weekly hours, right? Mm-hmm. So what I've decided was these are all the different abilities that people have to book with me.
Okay.
And so for this specific option, like guest co-host, like this is me pre-approving people, right? So I prefer to run my podcast from the home studio unless I purposely book an in-person session, right? So, but here's the thing, for pre-approvals, I could do this from Zoom, from my iPhone in a car, in an airport, because Zoom has an app. I could run an audio video conference call, pre-screening somebody for the podcast.
Yeah,
any day of the week.
Anywhere, because I love Zoom. I use it for the virtual mentoring, and it's the easiest thing that I found to use.
So that's why the first calendar you looked at here, I'm like, you know what? I don't mind chatting with somebody on a Saturday and a Sunday for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what? Why the heck not? Let's go ahead. I'm constantly playing around with this, by the way. This is going to change again too. Like now that you and I are talking about this, I already have ideas to change. So anyway, in the beginning, I never had groups. I just had one calendar because I was so busy. I just wanted to turn this thing on and just set it up and go. But now that I'm going back and I'm looking for new hacks, new things, so I'm going to be growing out multiple groups. So here I only have 2 groups. For this one, I opened up all this time basically from Friday to Monday. For basically Friday evening, a lot of chunks on Saturday, a lot of chunks on Sunday, and then Monday. So that you choose what you want. But then group 2, a lot of these, and I need to change this now, by the way, because, okay, like recording on the podcast, for example, I want to be at the home studio. So that's why that one's down here, right? You're going to guest co-host our podcast. So actually, no, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just showed you the recording sessions. That's when I know I'm home. Correct myself. These all, I don't care if people book on a Tuesday evening or a Thursday evening, because even if I'm traveling, I'm at my hotel. So I can hang out and do a lot of these meetings from my hotel.
Well, quick question.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate time zones?
The system does it automatically.
Hmm.
So I have this, my calendar settings. Hold on, let me go back here. I haven't been here in a while. It's one of the settings. I have this set by default to East Coast time.
Okay.
Actually, we're done with this anyway. I just want to make sure you can see how you can create groupings.
So whatever you put in as your time, the computer will make adjustments for it. So if somebody out and wants to meet with you, when they go on, okay.
Oh yeah, like by default. So I literally, people use this system through my website. I've had people on the podcast from Australia, Ireland, Germany. So now sometimes my availability was too restricted because of such a big time difference. South Africa I had too. So the South Africa guy, he was a famous doctor. So I had to manually schedule him because my calendar was locked out and they couldn't find a time when that dude was awake.
Right.
So I was like, all right, dude, my bad. So I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to do that podcast session. Mm-hmm. But I was willing to do that because he was a famous doctor.
Yeah.
So that was a great example where I went in through the app and I manually scheduled him to my Google Calendar and using Zoom and everything else because Acuity had it locked out. If I try to book him through the Acuity calendar, it wouldn't even let me because I had locked out. Acuity's protecting me.
Gotcha.
So anyway, it's in your default settings. It automatically, when you go to book a time, on their end, it's going to show the time availability in their time zone. Which is just equal to whatever I have set in my time zone.
Okay.
So awesome. You're always going to see your East Coast time. But like my email confirmations come through and it shows me both. It shows that they booked from whatever time to their time in their time zone. It says the code and everything. Okay. But in my calendar, it shows up in my time slot.
Well, that's a nice thing not to have to worry about because that was a big concern of me. Like, we have enough going on. We all have enough going on. I'm like, how do I manage the time zone difference?
Yeah. So, and again, as far as like your branding, I'm in, hold on, let me go back here. Business settings. So again, that was the availability we first went over. So going into settings, I named my calendar my name. I could have called it Live the Fuel, but I mean, they're working with me one-on-one.
So you went to availability and then settings.
When you first go, you're down the side.
Okay.
It's business settings.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of these options are under business settings. So by default, it always defaults right to the availability under business settings, right? But here's a couple tabs. So the settings, I can name my calendar. There is a longer description if I wanted it. If I wanted to show my main email, I can. But I have it set so my replies go to scott@livethefuel.com because that's my business email account that's on Google. You can put your headshot in. You can put your logo in. You can do whatever you want. They're telling me here, this picture won't show up because clients will never be able to choose from a list of more than one calendar. It's a different thing. Don't worry about that. But anyway, like location, right? You could set a location for like maybe if you had a business and you were going to be certain things going to be a physical location, you could do that. I never did that. So, and then I have all my different appointment types that I've created, but that's a whole different thing. So, but then in scheduling limits, this is good. This is cool. Check this out. Prevent clients from scheduling new appointments less than 4 hours in advance. So I've customized this a couple of times because I don't like it if somebody books something last minute the same day. Like you and I have already planned sports for the kids or for you, or maybe I've got date night, and I didn't lock the whole date out yet because I never locked a day out before, but now I've done that, so I don't have to worry about that as much. But in this case, hey, I don't want people booking stuff on my calendar more than 90 days from now. I only want to worry about the next 3 months. You could change that. Maybe you're cool with somebody booking you 6 months from now. That's up to you.
Well, yeah, and that's tough because you don't know what what want to change. And I love that you're showing me this because this is what I haven't thought of that.
This is control.
There's somewhere I don't want to have a client. Yeah. I love working with people. Yeah. Well, we're living a life too. So to get that same day booking.
This is the hack, bro. This is the.
I really like it.
It's not just, that's why I love Acuity, man. This is so much more for the price. This is so much more in depth than Calendly. I started with Calendly. And then once this dude gave me free access to his system and I tried it out, I left. I was like, holy crap, I have.
So other sites don't do this part.
No.
Because that's huge because.
There's so much, you could tell there's so much granular detail here.
Yeah.
There's so much control that you can really implement. You're getting more power over your calendar than you've ever had before.
Well, and let me ask you a question too. Like, so when they go to Acuity and they're going to pick, for instance, my 7 ways to love, whatever time they accept, whatever category they accept it, when I receive that confirmation email, I'm going to know that because it'd be helpful. I want to know what we're talking about.
As soon as anybody ever books anything on your calendar, you always get an email. That's in your settings.
It'll tell me which service they're asking for.
Yeah, like what I'm showing you right now, because I went to business settings first, this drives everything else in the system, right? What I set here affects anything I do in the system. So any other calendar slot, service I book, new grouping I do, all of that is based on this. So you have to, that's why you really want to think about this. Like, hey, no matter what service they choose, nobody can do anything in my schedule more than 4 hours in advance, less than 4 hours in advance, or more than 90 days from now. So this dictates everything else that's happening on the front end. This is the back end. This is my business. This is me. This is what I am willing to.
I love that. And I like to hear,
like this is big too.
Allow clients to reschedule their own appointment times.
Yep. Oh yeah, I let people reschedule. But as you can see here, you're not. No. I'm going to hold you accountable, bro. Like you can't cancel 4 hours from now. You better call me. Like I mean, come on. You don't cancel 4 hours if you don't know 4 hours. I mean, you better have a death in the family, right? Like, dude, respect my time and respect your time. So I put that in there. No one can cancel within 4 hours because I'm already planning on this.
Yeah.
Now, some people might say that's silly. Let them cancel last minute. Okay, great. But now I've maybe not gone mountain biking. Even though my buddy invited me, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. I got a podcast booked. Right.
Well, like you said, the charge is still coming. So that's can you explain to me down here the make me look busy, automatically hide some available?
So this is something new I started doing. So my calendar is actually already really kind of chunked down. So I probably don't even need this feature, but when you first start, you do this. So it's a psychology thing. They're like, holy crap, man, Andre's a busy guy. He doesn't have a lot of availability on his calendar. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like You may.
Well, you know what? I learned the magic of that when I actually got, I don't like the word busy, but when I actually really got productive with my business. Yeah. And my calendar is booked up 2-3 months in advance.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a guy. See, one time when you start off as an entrepreneur, you're so hungry to get that meeting, and you're pressing. Oh, well, I can meet with you tomorrow. I can meet with you tomorrow.
Right.
Well, if you're meeting with
you're making yourself too available.
Right. And I told somebody, I was talking to a gentleman. I said, look, my next availability, and it was generally about 3 months away. And he looked at me, and I had to say that a couple times to different people, and I saw this eyebrow raise. And it was like, I wasn't lying, but I saw the power of being productive and not being available.
Yeah, and admittedly, I'm going to turn this off for me now because I have created the groupings and I've created blocked out days.
Yeah.
So I have noticed it's become more cumbersome to get people to book time for podcasts. And I've noticed that my frequency has dropped off. I'm still fine, but I used to have people booking a lot sooner. And now people have been pushed out a few weeks. So I just realized this now as I'm talking to you. I'm like, I can turn this off now because the point of this, as you can tell here, they give you hints, by the way, for everything. But cool. Hide a percentage of random available time. Those hidden time stops, they are still available, but they're not viewable for the client on the scheduling page because I've set it to 25% of the time, right? So this is just giving the appearance that there's less time available. So there's also that scarcity mindset.
Right.
Depending on how you test this,
right,
this might help people book sooner.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, man, Andre's a busy guy. I can't get with him for a month.
Yeah.
But there's a slot available next week. I better take that.
Yeah.
You see that? So this is where we're incorporating some psychology into this.
So when you have that calendar and you had your available time slots, when somebody takes that available time slot, that's no longer available for anybody else to pick.
Oh yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You can only, again, that's all in your settings too, because it might not be on this page. Schedule clients. There's another setting that I've used where you could dial in how close the appointments are. Like you have this feature here, right? Let me disable this. Minimize gaps between appointments and try to cluster them together during the day, right? So, hey, if you open up the whole day, but let's see if I can get them to kind of chunk them closer together. The system will do that for you.
Okay.
If somebody already booked this afternoon or tomorrow afternoon,
right,
if someone's looking again, they're going to try and like move them closer together automatically. If that's what you want. If you can turn this on, you can turn this off. So you can go back in, man, and keep tweaking this as you flow. The whole point here is you have a lot of options.
Gotcha. I like it.
Let me save this change. Now, all right, good. That's done. Oh, there's a new design. I haven't been in a while. I got some more stuff to play with. Awesome. Let me see if I actually had it down here. Yeah, you can also block off times using the block button. So this is big too. That's what I was telling you about the block feature. Let me go back up here. So we were playing around a lot in this availability tab. So now the appointment tabs types, right? So this is when you start. Holiday deals. I don't do holiday deals. They're always constantly trying to help you, by the way. So you talk about doing group classes.
Yeah,
so you can do group stuff. You can do. I just have done basic. Basic calendar slots. I'm pretty simple. You're doing a lot of different stuff than I do. So again, I kind of, and you could chunk them. See this? There's like categories.
Yeah. So
I did a public speaking section. I'm going to tweak that later today. Here's all of the marketing and coaching options. I'm going to probably divide this up a little bit. I'm always looking for ways to improve this because in the beginning, I just had one main list and that was it. Guest co-host our podcast. Because again, if you go back to my scheduling page, hold on. I want to make sure we're tying this together so you can visually see this stuff so you can start picturing yourself building this out. And that's why, let me pause real quick. Do you feel overwhelmed or does this seem doable?
No, it seems doable. I mean, you just
it's going to take a little little work.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure you see the availability because that's the fun of this. It's going to be like, oh man, I got to figure this out, tweak this. But because I know you want to get this thing turned on right away. But as you can tell here, there's a lot of availability. But again, you see how this chunks them now? I have this category.
Yeah.
So that's why I never had that before. So I have little headers now.
Oh, so that's what that.
Right? So that's what here is here. So here's my sections. So that's what it looks like.
Okay.
Integrated into my site on the page.
Okay.
I actually have
so can we go back? Can we go back?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would have to go to, so how do we?
Oh, this is right here under your appointment types.
So appointment types, and then
like you're going to live, when you first launch, you're going to live here. You're going to live in your business settings.
Right.
Yeah. You're going to go right to availability. Like they put them in order for a reason. It's not just alphabetical, but I mean, actually it's not alphabetical. They put them in order for a reason. Like they want to kind of get you to flow through. Okay, let's figure out what availability you're willing to give away to the world. And then you got to figure out now, okay, out of my availability for my appointment types, okay, let's build out the free options. Let's build out possibly the billable options, et cetera. Now you see this, 15 minutes, no price set, and with a 5-minute padding. So once you start building these out, this is where you can actually decide how tight you want the sessions. So if you start really getting busy with your schedule, do you want to give yourself a 15-minute buffer before you dive into another phone call again?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe you want an hour in between. I don't know. Maybe you want to restrict this so you only do 2 sessions a day. Like even though the whole day is open, maybe on the prior screen, remember I showed you that little check box saying group the sessions? You enable the group session. The whole day looks open. Then you check the other option saying make it look like I'm not that available.
Right.
And then as soon as somebody books one option, the next time somebody comes on to try and book another option that same day, those check boxes will make sure that it's only going to give you a slot near the other one.
Okay.
Right? But within that service option, maybe both people are booking this session. It's also because in here, I can decide, hey, I want to make sure that I get at least a 5-minute, go to the bathroom, grab a glass of water, whatever.
Yeah. And that comes down as a drop box as an option with the padding.
Oh, that's actually in here. Like when you build these, that's in here. Let me go into edit. Let me click one here. I want to show you all this. See? So I've set my title.
Gotcha.
All right. I can add a longer description if you want to explain what people are getting. Right? If this was a billable option, I'm setting my duration. I'm setting, do I want a buffer before or after? Right? Is this billable?
Right.
If it's not, I just leave it go. And then remember I created those categories. I get to choose what section I want to put it under.
Yep.
I can choose colors.
Right.
And then I can stick photos, logos. Like maybe you start branding your services with little logos for each one. I don't know. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
And then and you could turn these on and off. Like maybe for 6 months out of the year, you don't want to offer this service, but you don't want to delete it. See this? Make it private. Or when you make it private, here's your hack, bro. I haven't done this yet, but maybe there's a specific slot that no one can ever see unless you send them a VIP link. Right? I'm giving you the vision. Because then as you start building out your VIP programs, you never put them public on your site.
Yeah.
Right? They have to go through your screening process. You have to work with them. They're going through all the other stuff. Then say, okay, guys, now that you've passed this and you've bought into my VIP system, here's the link to my private calendar option to book your VIP sessions. And then you've decided ahead of time that you're only doing VIP coachings on a Thursday afternoon 1 week out of the month. I don't know. Like you think about that. But again, you can then set it so you can only get there with this direct scheduling link because it's a private thing.
How does this link to payment?
Well, that's set here in your payment settings, but that's just simply you just if you want, like for example, let me go back out. Let me show you the billable. And here's your add-ons, by the way. I never set any add-ons. Like, here you go. See, hey, maybe somebody just bought your 90-minute massage. You want to add on a 15-minute foot rub? I am not rubbing your feet.
No,
sorry. I just can't do it.
Can't do it.
Anyway, so let's go back. And let me open up one of the billable ones just so you can see. It's going to look just like this. So here, let me go to my appointment types again. Let me refresh. Let's go down to the billable. So again, pretty similar, right? I could probably add a longer description if I wanted to, throw the time in, throw my buffer zone, throw in my rate now, put it in the category, pick a color, throw a photo. It's public.
What's the color part? Where's the color show up?
Yeah, that's once I don't know why they do that. I never bothered checking that out. I just started playing around with it.
Okay.
Let me see.
That color. Gotcha.
Maybe. Well, no. This is the main calendar color.
Hmm.
I think once I click here, it's probably going to give me a color. Maybe. See. Oh, by the way, see how I clicked on my service?
Mm-hmm.
Set your time zone.
Right.
This is where the visitor, they want to look at it in their time zone.
Okay.
Now, me, on my end, it's always going to show up as East Coast, but this is what I wanted to show you. So if I'm in Arizona, I'll just switch this to Arizona. So whatever you've unlocked in your calendar will show up to me on your website in my time. Right?
Okay.
Makes sense? So that's, at least you can see that. Anyway, you got to click through that. Set time zone. It brings up the calendar. You see how it's only unlocked the 30th?
Okay.
So I'm booked until next week, right? And I only have one day. Looks like I'm pretty busy, right? And the way here's some options. So maybe I book a 5 o'clock. Now I'm going to continue, and I give them the option to book a recurring. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So here's your little feature. Now you're seeing this. Now I'm going to continue. I got to fill out the info and pay now.
There you go.
Right?
Dang, I like it.
And then you'll go. Then it'll see. It automatically takes you from here to here. I didn't have to click next.
Now,
right? Confirmation.
I have a confidentiality and liability waiver form.
Yeah, you could build that into your email responder and everything too. Like, hold on a second. All right, let me go back out of here. I don't get ahead of ourselves, but okay. So this one was a pretty basic stuff. I didn't really have an intake form, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's your hack. This is what most podcasters don't do. This is what I love to show off. Schedule. Let me go back. Yes, I want to leave. I think this may start to answer what you're talking about, because the next option on here is we went over availability, we went over appointment types. Now here's the real hack. You could build intake forms, right?
Mm.
So you have documents. Well, I have certain questions I want answered, man. I want to know some stuff before you even get to me. All right. So now, pre-approved. I have a different questionnaire for this one, right? So here's my pending co-host intake form. Here's my pre-approved co-host intake form. Okay. And then I built one just for my Live the Fuel mailing list. Because remember how I said I'll give everybody the option to opt in?
Mm-hmm.
So that's here. I could build out so many forms. I just been too busy. Here you go. You want to add a terms and conditions agreement?
Yes.
A notes form, whatever. I've only used like maybe 30% of the functionality, man. There's so much to play with. So
what was that called? The new terms. Yeah. I like it. Because I just want them to click.
Clients must agree to terms before booking.
Yeah, because that's where that no-show thing started.
Right. So what if you no longer have to email them a form, right? They read it on here before they even can confirm their session with you. How cool is that?
And the other one that you were talking about, the other site that you were using, they didn't have this either.
No.
Wow.
Oh, dude, this is off the charts. Anyway, let's go back here. So here's the pre-approved recording, right? I set my time zone. I'm a visitor. Oh, here. Okay, so now you see how there's different options, right? Because this is a different grouping.
Right.
See how the last one I showed you showed me the 30th.
Right.
So there you go. So let me go to November. See the dark dates are available. These are unavailable.
Yeah.
Right? So let's go for Monday. Let's go for 6 p.m. Let me continue. Now, I'll fill out my information. Remember how I told you my email list? I want to give them the option. Let's stay in touch. It's not required, but they can. And then here's my other form. So I actually built two forms, or I added two forms into this specific scheduling option. Because I always want to give people the option to get on the mailing list. And here's my intake form. So all of these questions I built out. This is the cumbersome part, by the way. Like once you set your availability, this is the part that takes time. So I would invest in pick out one top form or questionnaire that you really have been wanting to get out there and automate, and just focus on that one. I have improved this over and over again.
Oh, it's always evolving. Always.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's your brand. So I explain why I want them. Listen, man, this is your chance to give me your who, what, why bio, your brand, your media links, because here's the other reason why. You know why I filled out this form? Because I didn't always have a VA doing my podcast show notes which becomes the blog article on the website. Well, if you give me all of your crap, all I got to do is copy and paste it because you already sent it to me.
Right.
And, oh, wait, you gave me your bio, your official bio statement? Well, now when I do a live intro to bring you on the podcast, I already know what to say.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I like to be a very informed podcast co-host or host. Great. I made you give me all of your stuff, your links, your bio. So we've just sped up me learning about you so we can have a better experience on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you might want to put in here like, what is your why in life? What drives you, right? You could really dig into some psychology on this, man. Like I see a lot of potential for your intake forms. But you could do all different kinds. You could do ones where they only give you a little bit of space. You could do a big space.
Mm-hmm.
You could do radio buttons, yes or no. You can give people the ability to upload a file. Like, I don't know, maybe they have an article they want to share with you because they want you to read it and evaluate. I don't know. I mean, whatever. In this case, I'm giving people give me your headshot because I need a headshot.
Yeah.
I can't stand when people don't give me a headshot. I want to see their level of experience. This was a fun new feature I created. Like, hey, what's your podcasting experience?
I rocked a few mics, by the way.
Yeah, this is all custom, man. Yeah, I've rocked a few mics, or like, hey, man, I'm a pro at this point, or I'm actually going to rebrand this one because I love Olympics. I might actually say I'm an Olympian. I mean, have fun with it. Throw a reminder in here. Like, I'm really trying to get people to stop using iPhone headphones and start getting a legit mic. So I went ahead and found a one that I've tested on Amazon. It's like $30, and it's noise canceling headset. So you can't hear your kids and your dog in the background. It's focusing right here, and it's a little headset. I think everybody should own one of them, and it plugs right into a USB port on your computer. It's a great device. So, and again, if you already have one, great. Tell me what you have. Like, I want to know these things. So, because then I know what kind of quality I'm going to have to worry about when they come on. Hey, you know what? Can you talk about health, business, and lifestyle? Can you balance them all? Cool. That way I know before I bring you on how much work I'm going to have to put in to get you to talk about maybe some of these other domains because I try and balance all of them. Mm-hmm. If you're a health nut, well, then great. I might have to work a little more to get you to talk more about your business side of things. I don't know, So have fun with this stuff. So these are forms. You can build this out.
Awesome.
And I could definitely tell you're going to be a forms guy. If nothing else, definitely your terms and conditions. That's huge.
Well, I need the terms and conditions are the biggest part for me. I want
now that you and I are talking about this, I need to do this. You know why I got to do this? People are sharing with me their personal and branding and personal information. If nothing else, I need to put on in the podcasting world, a lot of people are having people sign off on the rights to share their information. Like, well, you chose the book to come on my show, so clearly you're going to share information. But it's like, you know what? It can't hurt to cover your butt legally.
Oh, my wife is in law, and it all comes down to you may never have to protect yourself, but the one time you do, you're going to wish you had something in place.
There you go.
When you're helping and servicing people to live a better life, well, a lot of times, if they don't feel like they're living the lifestyle that you said you would help them with, how do I protect myself? Because at the end of the day, life is going to hit you when you click that button off.
Yeah.
And if people revert back, and which most of us do revert back to what we do best, you have to protect your brand. You have to protect your brand. I love working with people, but we can never get away from the legal side when we live in a legalistic society.
It is, yeah. Well, here you go. I clicked on that terms and conditions. So here you go. You get to name the form. Maybe you just want to call it terms and conditions, right? And then you write your description here. Maybe you already have it. You just want to paste it. You have a simple checkbox. I've read and agreed to terms. Maybe you want to add in other stuff. Like these are all, by the way, these are all drag and drop.
Oh, okay, cool.
You just click them. Like, you can ask questions in here. Like, so all the forms are very customizable. Here's all my other forms I've built. Maybe you want to have an internal use form for your team. I don't know. Like you can have all these things.
So when this is all done and you create this, how does this now become a button that now shows up on your
the intake form? It goes back to your appointment type.
No, I mean the whole scheduling piece. Like, so you have the schedule
on my site.
Yeah. How does it become a button that's now available on your site?
Oh, well, I created the button schedule, and then I forget. I think I called them and they walked me through it. But It's been on there for so long. I'm like, because again, as I told you, if you didn't use all this functionality, you could just use the free version and just get a URL link And you could still do that. You could just link the URL to this schedule button and be done with it. But like, here's the other cool thing. Check this out. You're gonna like this. I think I still have it on here. What if you could integrate your schedule into Facebook?
Wow. Yes, that's what I want to do.
All right. Well, stand by. We're using a lot of data because we're video streaming here, but let me stop sharing while I bring that up, make it more exciting. Are they still shutting your power off?
Let me see.
Here we go.
Oh.
All right.
Here, can you say something, Scott?
Yeah.
All right, I can hear you.
All right. So check this out. All right, let's go back to screen sharing. I'm on Facebook. You see this option right here? Book an appointment.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, you don't have to call it that, but if I click on that, it integrates through to my Acuity. So
I love it. That's awesome.
Now, I don't really drive a lot of traffic from the Facebook page to my scheduler, but you see how it brings, what do you recognize? Look at this. It's the same thing you see on my website.
Yes. And that's because I like it on the website, but I like it even more because I'm getting so much on social media. It'd be great for them to have that option from there. Because what I found is you have to make it easier for people to find you and book with you and pay you.
Yeah.
And for so to go to direct them off of social media to go to the website, then to hit another button. If we can reduce the amount of buttons that they have to hit.
That's the point. You want to reduce, and that's why I'm probably going to overhaul some of my forms because I know I am asking for a lot. And I do want people to jump through a few hoops, but I don't want to make it cumbersome.
Right.
Right. But like, for example, I just want to show you some other things. I went down to email settings, right? So like you could do all kinds of stuff as far as email responders, like what their confirmation email looks like. It's all forms. I could set different email responses for each of these. But for now, my initial response is the same for all of them. I wanted to go simple. So every single one of these appointment types that I created all use the same email confirmation. So if you want to make it personalized, you can go to town, man. You can start building out a template for every single one of these because again, you have different services, you have different events. Here's your reminders. So I could set up to 3 reminder emails, right? So I can automate. Maybe you want to remind the person 3 times before the event. I don't know. I right now I just have one set 2 hours before their appointment. They're going to get a reminder.
I'll tell you, I like that.
Right?
Like it. And that's under email settings.
Yeah, that's right here. Again, this is after you've done all this stuff. Like obviously, I know I don't use this. I skip over that. Like we went through availability today. We went through appointment types, intake forms. Right, that's going to be huge. But again, you can just launch your appointment types and then build forms later. Like lock your calendar down, figure out what kind of groupings of time you want, then build your appointment types and then load them and associate them with those time slots you want to unlock. Yeah. Then add the forms later, right? These 2 are the most important. But then as far as the main, again, these are business settings. That's why like email settings, let's go ahead and set some automatic reminders. Here's your templates. Cancellation. Okay. Maybe you want to have a special cancellation confirmation. Maybe it gives them the option to reschedule. So you can really customize this if you want to. Again, as you can tell, I just do the same response for all of them.
I've never had to cancel, but
no.
If something life-wise, God forbid, happened with me, what I mean, or, in the family, so how would I cancel,
But the beauty of this is you can really personalize all this stuff. Like, hey, maybe I want to go in here and change that. These are all the defaults. I didn't do anything. Like this is all the system stuff. I never change these. But maybe I want to say, hey, you know what? Thanks for stepping up and rescheduling. Maybe I want to add a comment in here, right? I don't know. I never bothered. You want follow-ups? There you go. You could build a whole follow-up email campaign, even if you're not using an email marketing platform. But if people are I have a follow-up campaign.
So after this happens and I complete everything, what you're saying is it's going to give me a URL link that I can then make a button on the website and on Facebook.
Oh, that part, yeah. The button has to be made like you have to go in, like it's not a button, it's a menu. You're making a menu. See, like,
okay. Yeah.
like this problem solves goes to a web page. Podcast goes to all these different web pages. My blog obviously goes to the blog section. So the schedule just goes to my scheduling page, which is fully embedded from Acuity. So it's this WordPress plugin. That's all it is. And that's, if you got web people, they can easily do this. Like once you build this out, hold on a second. Let me go if I can find that. Oh, that's right. Real quick, before we skip it, I don't want to go too far ahead. Let me do this. I forgot to click on, I want to show you business settings, the payment setting. So payment settings, I know this was huge for you. Here's where you set your currency, your default, right? Are you using PayPal? Are you using both Stripe and PayPal? Do you want to give people both options? I do have a Stripe account. This, again, you're creating more work for me. I was like, crap, I don't have Stripe enabled. I only have PayPal right now. And I have accounts with all these guys. So why not give my customers as many options as they can to pay me? So just a little tip. So unless you just prefer PayPal. When clients schedule an appointment, do you want to require full payment? Do you want to require a deposit by default? Payment optional. Do not allow online payments. Like they
we also have to break this down within the grouping as well.
Sure, maybe.
So because one service costs one thing, another service costs something else.
Right. And we already showed you that back here on the appointment types, right? So let me go back over here. And again,
so when they go to pay, they already know what they're paying for.
Oh yeah, because I called it out. Like this one was free. If I just said $50, like again, if you're on the scheduling page, right here, it shows you, hey, that's $100, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
So it's kind of idiot proof, but I mean, now again, remember how you're asking earlier about the appointment types and how to get the forms integrated? They're right here. Like every form you create shows up over here.
Oh,
everything is tied together. So when I create a new appointment type, maybe 6 months from now, and I'm like, I always want to check this. I always want to give people the option to get on the email list. But maybe I'll create another new way of getting somebody on my podcast. I don't know. If that's the case, maybe I prefer to move everybody over to this form. I can go back and stop using this form and move all my podcast stuff to this form. Simple checkbox. That's it.
Okay.
Now, let me exit out of the appointment types. And I remember I was telling you, so here's the thing. Your main place you're going to be living when you launch this is here. It's business settings. Now, if you want to just look at your calendar, look at all your appointments you already have, there's a quick view. And it's just like going into a Google Calendar. Here's the other cool thing. You can go into your client list. Check this out. Everybody who's ever booked with you, I have all their info.
Wow.
Every phone number they loaded into my form, every email they loaded, it's all in here. So anytime that anybody's ever used my scheduling system, I now have their entire history right here. So again, you're not losing any data, bro. So again, you got reports. I don't really run reports, but if I want to check this out, see, I can see peak times or peak days or whatever. There's a lot of stuff that you just don't worry about this stuff right now. But if you want to look at the client's scheduling page, so here's the thing. Once you've set all this stuff up, I customized this. I changed. I wanted to make sure my brand was in this. You could change this as just Andre if you wanted to. It depends on what link you want them to see. And here's your embedding, right? So direct links and embedding. I wanted to get a direct link, but you can embed the scheduler. So if you click on embed scheduler, here's the script that your web people. There's just so you just simply copy it. Actually, that's what I did now. This is what I remember. So all I did was, because I had people running the podcast website, so I just emailed tech support and say, hey guys, I'm launching Acuity Scheduling. Please create a schedule menu option, here, right there. And then here is the code. Here is their embed script. And I copy, I hit enter, create a space, and I just copy and pasted this. And they loaded it in.
Yep, because that's what I'm talking about.
But maybe you want to create a booking button.
I send that. Yep.
So here's a script for a booking button. Remember how your other pages have buttons? Well, here's a script for the button. Maybe you want to create a booking bar. Well, there's a different script. You want all the options to book you as a bar. Everybody's got different styles and what they want to see.
Wow.
I'm not a big fan of the booking bar, but like here, let's preview.
I especially
bar.
like that booking button can go on social media too. I really like that.
Yeah. So that's easy because you can go into your Facebook settings and do that. So for you, here's the direct link that you can actually add into your email script, right? Maybe your email response has a link like, hey guys, I have a new scheduling system. Until I get it integrated on the website, here's the direct link. Boom.
I like that too.
Yep.
Because that's for people who already know you.
Yeah.
You're like, listen here.
Like, here's another excuse to update your email list. Hey guys, exciting news. It's, we're constantly growing. And one thing that I want to teach more is the power of time management. So in the interest of time management, and making sure that I'm making myself as accessible to you while also respecting the time for my friends and my family and the imbalance of personal and professional life, check out my entire new scheduling platform. So you make it like an announcement. You make it like an exciting thing. It's all about spinning it. And then you blast all over social media like, hey guys, check out our new scheduling system. You can announce that with this link and just say, hey, click here until I get it on the website.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Or you wait and just get it all embedded first, and then you do a big announcement. And I'll hands down, I would do a Facebook Live on that bad boy too. Like, hey guys, right? Like
Facebook Live has been,
and then you give them hints like, hey, exciting news to come. We're going to eventually be building this out. So you're gonna be able to schedule with our dream people and everything else. Because again, that's just another appointment type.
Yep.
And then you talk to those people and say, what days and times do you want to unlock so people can book with you through my scheduling system? And then, yes, granted, it's going to be, the confirmations are sent to you, but you see what I'm talking about? You can create a grouping.
Yeah, because if you know their time frames, then.
Yeah. So that's my hack when not paying for the more advanced system where you need multiple calendar features. Let's let you run everything. That way you can keep a finger on the pulse. Yeah. And then maybe down the road, you want to pay for the higher level service because the money justifies it now. And then you have it linking to multiple calendars.
Absolutely.
Right?
I love it.
And then, hey, again, right here, scheduling page. Oh, don't want to change the appearance. Here's where you don't want green. Great. do I want to have a monthly style when I'm looking at my calendar? Or do I want to look at daily style? Like when people click on my scheduling page, it'll default to that month view. And I showed you that earlier. I can create the business name here, put in your brand logo. Here's I actually put in scheduling instructions. All right. So that's important. So people understand that. And this is different for each thing. So this is huge. Here's where you set your time format, your default time zone, when you want your actual workday week start. Like what time is your scheduled default? Maybe you start it from Monday. Some people like that. I don't know. And then you can start doing all the design, headers, colors, font styles. I went with Roboto. So there's a lot of other stuff here, man. You want to require a phone number. You can make that a default scheduling feature. Like that's going to come up. You have to load your phone number in if you want to book with me. Right? So like I said, you're going to live in business settings first and then really go to the client scheduling page to give them a nice appearance. Like this comes last. Like really it's you getting into everything we really spent most of the time on today.
So what do you say? Business settings first.
Yeah.
And then you said, was it client scheduling page?
Well, so business settings, and just go in order. You're going to go under business settings. You're going to work through your availability first. Really, hey, what do I want to unlock? Then appointment types.
Yeah.
And then if you want to wait on your intake form questions, wait on that.
I already have it. I have it.
But you want to build them in here. So, and then obviously you're going to want to, you might skip over the packages. Maybe you don't have users right away. Maybe you want to give your wife access to this. I don't know. There's different integrations. So here's the integrations piece I didn't go over. Sync with your calendars. This is where you sync with your Google Calendar. We already went over payments, went over email settings. So real quick, a managed user is pretty easy. It's just who else do you want to give access to them, right? And then you can add a user. Okay. So somebody else you trust to help manage this.
So first thing first I got to do is I got to change the my email name. And
if you want this all to go to the new renamed Andre yes. It's not rocket science. It's easy. But you can still, again, remember, you can start building all of this. And then you don't have to sync it to your Google Calendar yet because Acuity gives you a calendar. So start working on this weekend. Take action. Then, sync it to your Google Calendar later. Because again, Acuity has an app. You can just download the app and you'll see everything on the calendar. And then add it to the Google later. Because again, your integrations here. So I've integrated Aweber. There's my email marketing platform. I've integrated Zoom. So it sends in my Zoom account and what I want to share with people. And there's all these other integrations. You can do your accounting software if you're accounting and invoicing. Here's the other
question. Quick question about Zoom. I've been using the free Zoom version. Do I have to have a paid for Zoom version to sync it?
No.
Okay.
No, the free version always gives you a different generated ID number for the conference call. The advantage of the paid one is I could set a default ID, and then I can enable that where everybody gets the same ID number every time.
Right. And as my volume increases, I'm going to have to get the paid for version because you wind up running out of time.
Oh yeah, that's why I pay for Zoom. But Zoom's cheap. My Zoom is $15 here.
$15 a year.
No, a month.
Oh, a month.
So, but I can run. Here's the thing: you want to start running virtual group events? I can have up to 100 people get on a call with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And then what if you recorded that and you start publishing it to your YouTube?
Yeah.
And sharing, for these more public sessions. I'm just giving you ideas. So, but yeah, this is what I pay for Zoom. Now, there is a value-added thing that I've added once just to try it. I'm going to add it again soon. I could run this feature. That's another $40 a month, but I could run live webinars and run them real time live into Facebook or YouTube streaming.
Mm-hmm.
So that means people on Facebook can be watching my webinar live. And we all know how Facebook likes to outrank posts when you're live. So that means all webinars I do going forward, I could just start streaming them live.
Yeah.
And I can enable that new terms and conditions feature in Acuity to make sure people know that, hey, when you book time with me, FYI, you are agreeing that all this content we create together, you're agreeing that it's okay to go public, right? I'm gonna share you on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. So I don't even want to ask the question anymore. So that's my takeaway from today. I'm gonna turn that feature on. So, so yeah, there's a lot of other features in Zoom, but I figured I'd share that. And obviously, like I said, I use Aweber for my email marketing because I can manage the list and everything else. Again, you don't need this. Just go here. It sounds like, I would say turn it on, just start playing with it and go freebie, but it really sounds like you're going to go right into it.
Yeah,
and they give you a free trial. So,
well, yeah. And you could pay it per year. You have to pay it per month.
You can. I'm going to switch over to that. Yeah, because I just realized, let me go back into my account because I'm on that grandfathered plan. I can switch to paying annually. I should have just done it to begin with because why am I spending, $10 a month? Because, I could save, a few bucks by going annually. So why not? I just hate having monthly bills. So,
yeah, me too.
So again, it shows you how often I come back in here. Once I set it, I kind of forget it until all of a sudden enough reasons go back in for me to go back and tweak it. So you've just literally helped me discover 5 new things that I want to do now just from walking through this with you. So, I should probably switch that over to annual because I don't have to worry about those silly little $10 payments. Cool. Now, I think your biggest hack that you were looking for was that embed code. That embed code does not exist if you're on the free version. So that's one of your hacks is if you want to be able to embed it like it is on my site and give it to your web people, you gotta go to the paid platform. Unless you want to direct all the traffic from Facebook and website everything over to a landing page within Acuity, you can do that too. So
right. Well, I'm all in. Scott, this has been amazing. It's been helpful. I appreciate it, and I like the difference between what some of the other ones offer compared to what this offers because
and look at sometimes
the price point. What's that? Right? What's that?
Look at the price point. It's like
from the price point perspective, because I was talking to someone, they said, "Oh, I got something great. It's like, $60 for the year." But then it's like, well, does it have this, this, and this? And I want to be able to make sure that I'm offering, the people that I'm working with the best service possible and making it easier for myself.
The biggest hack here is, unfortunately, as we've learned, as we grow our brands and our business, you gotta pay to play.
You got to pay to play, and you get what you pay for most times.
And you too. And like, I'm constantly teaching to my clients, I'm like, if you can't justify spending $100 to work with me for one time on a phone call, then you're not ready. Like you need to figure out where you're at, because I'm going to dump so much knowledge on you in 1 hour that you're going to wish you paid me $500 to $1,000.
and then you got to do it. You know,
because that's our responsibility to over deliver.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, just so you know, just for fun, for people who actually watch this video and for your benefit. So, have you ever heard of Schedule Once or Calendly for the other scheduling platforms?
No.
So I'll go ahead and share them right here. So we already went over the pricing from Acuity.
Right.
I started with Calendly. They had a great 14-day free trial, and it is cheaper, right? So, but the level of function, I mean, yes, you can integrate Google Calendar, and you can do unlimited event types and unlimited events, and they give you a personalized link. And again, you got to pay to remove the Calendly branding, which I was a big fan of. I want to make sure my branding is all over it.
Right.
But as you can tell, you got to go to the higher ones. So they got a lot of the similar features, but I mean, trust me, I've already used this. The level of depth I was able to get into with Acuity was so much faster. So you got to go all the way to their highest plan to even use payment integration. Now, granted, it's only $12 a month, but when you saw my intake forms, and the custom calendars and being able to create the groupings, I couldn't do that in here. I wasn't able to create groupings. I couldn't chunk it out and create multiple availability calendars. I love that feature. So that's why I left them. Everybody talks about Schedule Once. They're a huge brand. But right off the bat, you're right around the same price point again. Not month to month is 19. If not, it's 15. So we're right where you're at with Acuity.
More.
Yeah, technically. Right? Like that's not even the annual rate. $15 for entry-level entrepreneur. You're not even paying the annual. The annual rate's probably gonna be cheaper. So there you go. So anyway, I just want to make sure you knew about those other ones. But as you can tell,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, good companies, good platforms. I've aligned myself. You know, that's why I have it in my supporter brands. I've aligned myself with something that I'd be able to build and trust.
Yeah. Because you could put out a great product, but if your back end is sketchy and it's not good, then it winds up damaging your reputation on the front end. So the backstage is as important as the front stage. It really is.
Well, and my biggest thing is this. I want it to be easy, and it's got to be user-friendly. That's why I love Acuity. I mean, even though I had the founder on the podcast and we geeked out a lot, and then he gave me the free trial, thank God he gave me the free trial, because it gave me an excuse to experiment with it. And as soon as I started playing with it, I'm like, I am leaving Calendly. Forget this. I'm excited.
Well, you've sold me on it. I'm all good to go. I'm excited to start this thing up and get this on my site as quickly but as responsible as possible, because I'm ready to go. And it's it's an exciting evolution. And businesses got to change. So I love it.
I'm excited for you, man. I mean, I can't believe you and I haven't chatted about this before.
Well, you know what? I've been so productive / busy building up going into the companies. I love the fact that companies are being more proactive in bringing a work-life balance, a true work-life balance to their employees and bringing it to them. So I've been building that. Yeah. And then with the universities and taking on more teams, it's just been an awesome ride and experience. But now it's time because I'm not, like I said, it's been great. I'm at the company an hour and a half. I'm at the university an hour and a half. I'm at one company maybe a half a day. So I have all of this time during the week. And it's like, well, I'm doing the virtual mentoring. How do we ramp that up and making it easier and more effective?
True.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is
the time, do it.
When you put these tools in place, because what you're hinting at is scalability. And this is what you have to do. You have to build the system. Because if you want to be able to replicate the system and hand the system to somebody new on the team, or replicate the system to as a service provider, like you become like, hey guys, if you like my platform, I can replicate this and give you the same tools and features. But that's that beauty of scalability. But it takes time. You have to build the system, and that's what you're doing.
Yeah. And definitely, and too, like you go into the companies and you say, if somebody wants to work individually with me, and I can do it individually there, but if they don't take that package, how do we allow this employee or athlete to say, hey, now I can get a piece of that, and now I can do that, and and virtually. I call it evolving in your jammies. You don't got to go nowhere. I don't got to go anywhere. Let's get great, you know?
I love it.
All excuses out the window.
Yeah.
Oh, Scott, thank you so much. And those of you who are watching, the knowledge that this man just gave is so valuable, especially as a beginning entrepreneur. Make sure that your back end is as powerful as your front end, because it will make you complete. I
love that. I'm going to use that term, back end as good as your front end, because that's huge. Like, we can all make it look good on the front, but everything is falling apart behind the scenes, and you're stressed out every day.
If people aren't having a good or easy time paying you or working with you in that back end way, then it doesn't matter how great your front end is. You can't make money.
Well, that's a great way to sum this up. Like, really, if you think about this today, we went over so many different tools. We kind of hinted about email marketing, right? Giving away e-guides on your site. It's all about, if you want to build a brand and build a business, you have to build a loyal following. And that's by sometimes giving away your best stuff, but also what you just hinted at. What is the user experience?
Yes.
But then going back to you, how easily are you getting yourself paid? Are you valuing your time? Are you valuing what you're worth? And if you are, then build it into the system. Make it easy. Make it smooth. And when I started seizing the day on my calendar, and I could literally just leave on a plane, leave in a car, and just know that if anybody wanted to find me, I just tell people, guys, just go to my schedule.
Yeah.
Literally. I'm like, just livethefuel.com, click on schedule, or go livethefuel.com/schedule. It's all right there.
And for entrepreneurs, business owners, one of the things, I mean, we are in a relationship, and I always bring it down to personal and relationship growth. One of the biggest complaints that your family and loved ones will have is that you're always on your phone. And you have a total excuse that, oh, I got to run the business, and I got this, and I got this. If you can take that burden off of them, because they want and love you. Sure. And you can't put people on hold for too long before they're no longer the same when you come back. So this is valuable to a lifestyle of any entrepreneur. How do we get off the phone, work smarter and harder, and just now you can get a blurb of when you're scheduled instead of making the schedule with somebody going back and forth that has to check theirs. Live a better life and evolve you and your relationships by getting your back end in order. And that's why I'm so grateful for today. I really am.
Awesome, man. I'm glad we got to rock the mics. We are overdue to actually rock the mics officially on the podcast too. So
let's do it.
Let's let you focus on this. We just banged out like 2 hours of life on a Saturday today. So
yeah, we did.
I love the hustle. I'm sure you want to go back and enjoy your little cigar lounge. So
well, and thank you for you and your followers too for my change of venue in the house. Yeah. This was something I wasn't expecting. So I've been in like 3 different places awesome. Already. So thank you.
We were doing so much screen sharing. I don't know if anybody even noticed. So yeah. Anyway, like I said, just do me a favor. Use that link from my site to click through when you set up the account. So that way they track it. They know that we drove the traffic. And then I'll let you know when the videos and stuff are up online. And send me your updated. Email me what is your current a good resolution photo?
Oh yeah, I have one for you.
And do you have a cleaned up version of your logo?
Yeah.
All right, because I want to make a thumbnail graphic for the video because I got to make sure YouTube looks good. So I have a default thumbnail graphic like I do for the podcast now and everything else. I'm going to make one that includes, obviously the Acuity branding, but also your branding into it. I want to figure out what I can make once I see what I'm working with. So if you can send me both of those back over, that'll give you some tools to play with. So
sounds good. I'll get that out to you.
All right, man. Well, this has been great.
Scott, thanks.
We're gonna shut down the recording. So again, Live the Fuel fans, Acuity Scheduling, check it out.